right next to me on the backside. The one and only also Smoking Agata. I got to talk with him, but our meeting is just insane. You won't understand it until you literally go there physically. Once you park on a parking lot because you couldn't get away from the parking lot because the parking lot is as good as the main event. If you are going to get a vehicle, just make sure that whoever is going to source it for you has the knowledge to help you overcome all of the obstacles that you might not know you're going to face.
All right. Welcome to episode number 27 of the Money Shift podcast. And today we've got a special guest with us. Of course, we've got Josh from Rev Hard Motors, our co-founder here at Driven Labo. And he's brought in one of his good friends who's in the JDM Import game as well. So I think this is going to be a really interesting conversation today. Also going to be going through some of the latest news from the Daily Driven Newsletter, number 108, and announcing the winners of our meme contest. So without further ado, let's go ahead and bring up our guests. Of course, everybody here knows Josh. What's going on, man?
Good day, mate.
And we've got Eric with us in the house. How you doing this morning?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
All right. Well, Josh, if you could give a little bit of an intro on Eric, it'd be great to learn a little bit more.
Yeah, Eric is one of the pioneers in this space, and he's been fortunate enough to learn from some of the original pioneers in this space. Eric acquired his first JDM vehicle pre the 25-year-old acquisition mark, so he was down and dirty figuring this out before people even thought it could be a thing to do. He's founded TRU JDM. He's our port specialist. So all over the country, the different ports have different pluses and minuses, and the CBP are a horrible system to work with. My man Eric here has relationships with everybody at the port, at the dock, and the CBP workers. It's a very smooth process. So essentially, Eric and I, over the last 8 years, have lived through the trials and tribulations in every which way that you can have something go wrong through the import process, so you don't have to. Eric has a TWIT card, full access to the port. He speaks almost fluent Japanese now and has an affinity for the culture, almost in a passion unrivaled to anybody else. And I think our combined passion over the last years is really what set us apart and made sure that we have a good pulse on what's going on. As you can see behind, Eric has a quite extensive collection of video games and an affinity for Japanese culture like nobody's business. We'll get into that. But yeah, welcome to today's show. It's a pleasure to have you, Eric. Your input and insights are much appreciated. Thanks for being here.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thanks for the intro, actually. That was great. Yeah, you kind of nailed it there.
Nice. Well, I think we're all going to get along swimmingly because we're all big JDM fans here and really just have a deep passion for the culture. So I'm feeling there's no shortage of things that we could talk about. But real quick, I got to ask, what is the video game that's right over your shoulder there?
Oh, it's basically an old arcade game called Wangan Midnight Maximum Tune. You guys might be familiar with it. It's all about literally anime or manga series about certain people that get into what's called the Wangan, which is the Shutoko Highway in Yokohama to Tokyo, and basically go at it, like the old days, back to Midnight Club and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. This is akin to that. It's like a homage, I would say, to the real thing. And somebody just made it into a manga, anime, and a video game. So yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. I would love to play that one day. I don't think I've ever had a chance to try that one out. My experience is the old Midnight Club games on, was it PS1 or PS2?
Oh, yes. Yes, those are great too. Those are very nice. Very nice. I remember those as well.
That's nice. Where Eric learned his affinity for matchless racing, MCR.
MCR, man. Oh my God, don't get me started on
that. Awesome. Well, I figure what we'll do is what we usually do, kick things off by just taking a quick look at the Daily Driven Newsletter. Got a couple of cool stories here. And we also always feature one of the cars available at Rev Hard Motors. So I'm really interested to hear about this particular car that we featured this week. Yeah, issue number 108. And this week, as you can see, we've featured the this R32 GTR.
That's a beautiful car.
Yeah, this thing is so nice, so clean. So, Josh, I wonder if you could give us a little bit of an insight on this particular vehicle.
I mean, in a lot of the things that we do, they all have kind of a really cool, strong story with them, right? And so this car here originally was owned by a person I met when we first started our journey. So I guess in a way, it's perfect of the theme of the history and lineage of what we're doing here. So I met the original owner of this car through the Skyline Owners Group here in Colorado. And it's just one of the owners that really took care of their car and put a lot of time and attention and detail into it. It used to be like a root beer color. It was like an AH3 color. And he had a track day experience that didn't go as planned. Reconstructed the rear end of the car where it hit some barriers and painted it this beautiful metallic white that you'll find on an R35. All of the work has been done meticulously. As you can see, all the brakes have been upgraded. There's a really fancy carbon lip there on the front bumper. All the finishing touches are beautiful. If you look at the engine bay of this car, it has what you call the OEM Plus treatment. And so it's new and refreshed, but not anything crazy. It has the original twin turbo setup, but it has upgraded twins. You know, little things like a Nismo steering wheel on this car that's worth probably $1,200 to $1,800. It has Kansai service floor mats. So like really all the little, like you can tell that the owner of this car had a love and an affinity and attention to detail. And so we originally sent it on consignment for this person. He bought an R33 and that car is ridiculous now also. And so this person sold it. He's had it for about a year or two, wanted to move on to other things. So we have it back here in consignment. So this is a rare opportunity to own a car that's nearly rust free and OEM Plus status, has fresh coat paints, has the right parts, the right build list. It's really an exceptional machine, honestly.
Yeah, I think OEM Plus is the way to go with these cars. You know, you don't want to go too crazy with wide body or, doing things that weren't really intended by the original engineers. And it's also how you can keep the resale value higher. When you start getting extreme on the mods, it can tend to have a bit of a negative effect on the resale price. So I think this is just in that sweet spot of like the right mods, the right part list.
Go back one picture real quick, clean. 2 pictures. And so, you've done a car right when you make a nerd enthusiast notice details, right? Eric, could you tell them just about what that tow hook is?
Oh, the red one? Oh yeah, that tow hook basically, it's based off of the JGTC era of cars. Back in the day, 1990, back when Godzilla, the actual Godzilla, which is the R32 GTR, came over. That red tow hook was basically what was used in most of the JGTC cars of that era. When obviously they got into some issue at the track or whatever, obviously they would get towed from there. But if for some reason it was always, or most of the time it was red. So it's pretty cool that this little touch that it has. It's just nice. Just nice to see.
How hard is it to get one of those? How many times have you been requested to at the Mori factory on a trip to Japan to snag one, because that's the only place? Oh yeah.
Exactly. And that's the thing. Like a lot of these builds, like if you see a build like this, like the one we're seeing now, that whoever has it just took the time, the effort, and just the overall mentality of what would somebody at that point in time do with a car like this to make it as Japanese or as possible. This is something that you see it, and it's like they say, if you know. As soon as you see it, you go, all right, this guy knows what's up, And yeah, a lot of people ask me for a lot of stuff whenever we go back to Japan. We go once or twice a year. Depending on where we are, they usually ask us for stuff like this all the time. So
yeah, I also have to ask real quick, because this thing has all of the the original parts. The fact that that's an original JGTC tow hook is kind of crazy, because you can still buy them like aftermarket, but the fact that they went to the effort of getting the legit piece is cool. So are these real Ganador mirrors?
Yes.
I would expect nothing less.
See, that's exactly what I'm talking about. You're a car nerd. Nobody would know to look that, right? Unless you knew what that was. And
Yeah,
so
of
like
course.
these are the little finishing details that tie in so exquisitely to that lip, for example, right? Like that view right there. Look at that lip and those mirrors together. It's just like, right?
It just looks great. And may I add, a lot of people don't know this, but a lot of people think that the R32 GTR bumpers, there's a Nismo variant of it, but it's not really a Nismo variant. The only thing that's Nismo in itself is the actual ducts. The ducts you can buy separately. There's no actual bumper that Nismo made with the duct already put in there and cut and pre-cut. No, that is something that you would have to do yourself or have the Omori factory do. And just little details like that that maybe some people know, maybe some don't. It's just what you see a car like this and you're like, well, did he do it himself? Did he buy the bumper that way? It has to be made either way. It wasn't sold that way. You know what I'm saying? Stadium people just know as soon as they see the car, it's like, I have a lot of things to say about this one. You know what I'm saying?
There's a whole subculture of people that judge cars off the alignment of the N1 duct installation.
Oh, yeah.
It's very similar to like the kids at the rep wheels at the slam fest. But did you see the inserts on that door? I mean, it matches the seat, right? So you have Brid. A lot of people say bride.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of people say Mugen, but Mugen, really uncool. But yeah, you can see the selection of everything in this car. That seat and the
campsite service. There you go.
See the red stitching and the shift boots. And just every little detail.
Whoever has this car definitely knew what they were doing when they actually put it all together. I like it. It's just period. In a way, it's period correct. So at least on the exterior side and interior, as we can see. So
clean install.
Very
nice. Still even has the old school 90s head unit in there.
Beautiful, well done car.
Those are a little bit different also.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
Just the build list on this car alone has got to be, half the value of this car if you were to part it out.
Oh yeah, completely. And the price point that it's at, super fair too.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that because we always do a market snapshot here in the newsletter, and we look at the prices over the years, kind of see where it lands. This one is definitely on the higher end for an R32, but when you really look at it, it makes sense why it is, what, 62,000? Is that what it was?
So there's always the on paper number what a car is worth that you can argue this is like who's the best player of something, right? And then there's like what's someone going to pay. Look at that. Hold on, just pause.
It's period correct. Everything on the car is period correct. As soon as I saw the chrome on the intake and all that stuff, oh my God, yeah, it is period correct all the way.
If you have an appraised value, I would expect this to come in probably the mid 80s. Is someone going to pay that though? Probably not.
Well, the right person will if you don't need to rush to sell it.
Anyone who's owned an RB26 without an oil filter relocate kit understands how much of a pain that is. Also, there's just like the N1 ducts, there's several ways to install and put that in. And if you look at this kit, it is the ideal setup. The catch can is beautiful. The radiator is beautiful. The strut tower brace. And so you'll see the finished zinc coating on the intake rail and the planet, like the fuel set, like everything in this car has been done down to the dogfight trim plate. These are the things that you're going to see that like only nerds will notice,
It looks the part, every single thing, like exterior, interior, engine bay, all blends together.
Nismo wristband cover on the tank back on the left. You see that?
Yeah, exactly.
Problem is it's the new logo. It's got to be old logo. The old logo.
We're going to throw that one away. Yeah, it's the new logo. Yep.
And from what I understand, Eric, R32 was the first car that you imported, right?
Yes, actually, the R32 was, to me, my favorite out of the modern Skyline GTR generation, 32, 33, 34. Literally my first vehicle that I imported or that I bought before they were legal, because, I did buy it at 2010. I acquired it and I stored it in Japan for a while. So, for a long while, actually.
What is it about the R32 that you like compared to the 33 and the 34? Because most people are going to go for the 34 all day long.
Yes.
But there are diehard fans that are, they want the original Godzilla.
What we do, we have the ability to constantly drive these cars, right? And it's obviously a blessing because not a whole lot of people can say that. And we've driven them in different configurations, bone stock, extremely modified. Yeah,
550.
you exaggerate, we're talking about sequential, oh, this guy can sequential, insane builds. And I got to be honest with you, out of the three, the 32 still in any configuration, and I would argue with anybody, it feels the lightest and the most nimblest out of all of them. Obviously, the other ones are great. They're very nice cars, and I love them. I plan to own all of them. At one point, I've been keeping it off for a while, but yeah, I think it's about time that I try to get all three. But none of the other two compare to the history of the 32. The 32 made the world realize that Japan has a monster of a car that can rival, Porsche, Ferrari. I mean, if you know a little bit about the story of how it came to be and what happened in Australia and where it got its nickname and all that stuff, Godzilla and all that jazz, it's just amazing that a single car rewrote the rules for them to, for it to be just canceled out completely because it was winning every single race. You don't have a car, at least in the Japanese modern age, that can do that. 32 did it. It's insane to me, just thinking about it.
And if you've ever owned one and you work on one and you worked on other cars from that period, it is astonishing the amount of things in that car. Like, for example, if you have an Evo and you need to drop the oil pan, you put it on a lift and you drop the oil pan. A 32, the axles run through the oil pan.
Exactly.
So if you want to drop the oil pan, you're taking the whole subframe off. So like there's a lot of advanced features. And like I tend to agree with you, and that's kind of how we met, is over having a 32. I'll just sidebar saying that from what I've noticed is the diehards like the 33 because they want to be different, and I do appreciate it. Purists like the 32, and then the people who like the lure of the car gravitate to the 34.
There's some winning on the other two generations, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, they're great cars. I mean, we got to be completely honest. All three cars have their own thing. I do like the fact that the 33 was longer, so the wheelbase was a little bit, it's a GT, more of a GT car, I would say, than the 32. The 32 is the only one out of those three, to me, that was built as a race car first and then went into be a like regular street car. And I think that's where most of that DNA transferred very, very good in the best way possible to what we have and we can drive today. We could all get a JGTC car. We could, right? We would, right? But no, the best thing is to get obviously the one that Nissan released to the public. So to me, that's most of the allure of it. And it's just a great overall car.
The other allure of this too is like I said, this is how Eric and I met, is over having an R32. So in the year's 2018, I'm getting ready to start this entity. I'm in Colorado. I've been in the import scene in Colorado since the late 90s, so I have a pretty good grasp of the landscape. And so I'm getting ready to launch. I know people from being in the car business and from being in the JDM world. And then out of nowhere here in Colorado, this guy's like, yeah, I do this for a living. And I'm like, well, who's this guy? And so then I have to meet Eric. So we went down to Springs, went to a Japanese restaurant. Basically, we've become friends ever since and business partners. His wife had moved out here for being in the military and then had an incident happen, had to go back to Florida, and they've been enjoying being in Florida. But he's in the port. Like I said, he manages all that. And that's kind of how we met each other in Colorado Springs here at Garden of the Gods and eating some Japanese food. That's also how we met one of our key partners in Japan. I was working with him as well. And we've become kind of a trio ever since. We have solid people in Japan. We have solid people here. And between all of us, our combined network really gets a lot of things done. And if you're out there, Mike, shout out Mike. He joined into the fold recently. He's out in, was it Indiana, Eric?
Yes.
Initial RHD. He's been holding it down, doing some cool cars out there. So we've just been kind of growing the network and holding it down. But yeah, that's how I met Eric, Colorado Springs. Who is this guy doing what I want to do where I'm at? And then I found out he sells to Puerto Rico, and it all became this thing. And now we're this big powerhouse trio. And I think between the two of us, we offer probably one of the best experiences in the game on an underground low-key level. And Eric also is responsible for the importation and clearing and customs of several other dealerships as well because of his expertise and knowledge. He knows when the tariffs come and people talk about tariffs, he knows the actual tariff codes and numbers in those books and why they're there and how to coach it. And so he spent a lot of time and energy, and as the more that you get to know him, it's just a wealth of knowledge about everything he knows. Yeah, that's what we are. We're the team. And What about your side of that story, Eric?
Since we met, man, I think what brought us together mostly was the synergy between the things we like. We were so in tune with JDM culture as a whole and just bringing stuff from Japan because it's what we liked as a kid, is what we liked growing up. It's what made us keep going on at this. Regarding my stuff, I just pretty much fell into it. Basically, for the longest time, I didn't think that this was the way that I would go, but it ended up being this way. It ended up, destiny brought me to get my importing game on, and I did it very, very early. I actually started this a lot earlier than a lot of people would think. Probably around 2008, 2009. I started just doing the research on it and just making sure. And it all just started because I just wanted this one car, which is, we're going back to that you mentioned. 32 was the thing that brought me to doing all this, and it's what led me to open the doors to all of this that's happened. That's why I don't get rid of mine. I've had mine for around what 16 years now.
Oh, you still have the R32?
I still have mine.
Nice.
It's still there. It's the only one that I have. I'm attached to it. It means a lot to me, emotionally, and just the fact that it opened the doors for me to do this and meet so many people and do what I do and have because I've already had a passion for this. It's just the fact that it made me realize, hey, if I have this, if I went through all this, a lot of people can go want the same thing that I want, but they won't know how to do it. I put all the hours, I put all the knowledge that I try to gather from all of this and help people out. That's my main thing, is trying to help people get their dream car in any shape, way, or form, by any means necessary.
Yeah.
And that's why we work well together, is because we share that passion and just making sure the people that we help are happy.
Yeah, exactly. And
we have that
like
shared affinity for Japanese culture. And speaking of Japanese culture, and just to cap on that real quick, right now in this day and age, if you want to import a Japanese car, even with thousands and thousands of them here and plenty of websites and plenty of people to review and Facebook groups, people are still apprehensive about it. And there's still a lot of unknowns. And so imagine doing it back then. So like what Eric was doing was the equivalent of holding a Bitcoin in 2009, trying to get your family to buy it. Right?
Exactly.
They were like, you sent money where to who? You're just going to trust a car in some other place?
That car is just sitting in Japan.
What are you talking about? You want me to fuck with your internet magic money? It's the same kind of thing. And so like, that's where the expertise level comes in. And when people buy a car from me to this day, I'm not jaded in the fact that anybody with the internet can go get one of these cars, right? When you buy with us, you're buying headache insurance because we've lived it, we've breathed it. And, Eric was with me at Fuji Speedway when we did ours day, when all the customers were out enjoying their cars. Eric himself has an Evo 9 wagon. We live this stuff, and it's really good. Like Eric, I've learned enough Japanese to like ask how much it cost and go to a table at a restaurant and get water and in the bathroom and what time is it and common cultures. But Eric took it upon himself to basically learn Japanese. He's almost fluent, and it's crazy to see in Japan a Puerto Rican dude speaking Japanese to a Japan guy, because his face is like, what is happening right now?
Yeah.
And what's crazier is when you're in Japan speaking Japanese, and then the Japanese guy starts speaking Spanish. That's happened too. Yeah. So like, all the trips that we've gone to Japan, back and forth, all that stuff. Like, what are some of the highlights? What are your favorite memories from going to Japan?
Oh man, I would say obviously ours meeting. Now that you mention it, it's just, if anybody in the chat hasn't been to ours meeting or Japan in general, obviously Japan in general would say definitely go, but ours meeting is just insane. You won't understand it until you literally go there physically, because it's one thing to see it on a video and go like, okay, there's a crap ton of GTRs here, but it's another completely to spend almost an hour and a half once you park on a parking lot, because you couldn't get away from the parking lot because the parking lot is as good as the main event.
It took us hours to get through the parking lot just to get to the thing.
That's funny.
Yeah, and it's not just, there's a normal looking 32, normal looking 34, normal 33. No. Remember, people go there with insane builds. No way. This should be inside. I remember seeing very clearly, and Josh, when soon as he saw it, I think he just literally shut up. He was talking and he was like, oh, insane. And you're looking at, no, this has to be going into the event. No, they just parked right next to, whatever the other 33 was at. And I'm like, no way. This
is
is
the parking
insane.
lot. We were at the event, and there's a gentleman who makes a company who makes a lot of carbon fiber skyline parts. And there was an infamous video that went around pretty popular.
Garage Active Sakamoto-san.
Garage Active Sakamoto-san is famous for the carbon fiber.
Carbon fiber.
And Eric, unabashedly, while we were filming him, asked him to do it, and we got a live carbon fiber out of it.
Oh yeah.
And that's probably one of my favorite memories is that. And then also, do you remember when we were in the garage where the heritage cars were set up, all the old schools? And who was just sitting there in his green suit? And Charlene,
the legendary
wife, was like pointing it out, and then they had these books there, and that's how I got the JTCC book signed by him. And it just happened to be this stumble-in situation. We bought the book.
For those who don't know who he's talking about, the Drift King himself.
Yeah,
Keiichi Tsuchiya, man. I mean, who in the JDM space doesn't know him by now, right? Because he's just obviously the guy that everybody will look up to and say, hey, man, because of you, I am a fan. If you were born in the 80s, 90s, if you're into JDM, you kind of know what it is. And actually, I might show the book. I have it here just so that we, the viewers know what we're talking about.
Sure. Yeah, your stories are giving me major FOMO because to this day, I have still not been to Japan.
I have a video of him signing it.
That Josh is talking about. And as you can see, it's also signed by him, by the one and only Keiichi Tsuchiya, and it's just a massive book. I've seen it all, obviously, already. And
really cool. It has all the history of the JTCC cars and the races.
Exactly.
It's like an almanac of the JTCC.
And it's just a great little, thing that he was there to sign it, because he collaborated in most of the info for it. Imagine that. All the teams, and they had to hire him to collaborate on just giving more info, because obviously he was there in the flesh. So it's just something to me that's just amazing, and that we very lucky to have the opportunity to just see him while we were just at the docks, just looking at cars. We weren't even sure that he was going to be there, let alone have an event, a signing event.
And then Eric, if you've ever go to the Fuji Speedway, it is a must at least one night to stay at the Fuji Speedway Hotel. It is ridiculous. I'll just say that. And sidebar from that, Eric kind of joined us on like a whim because he was already going to be there. And then we found out the event was there, and he found out we were going to be there. So we like timed it out. And this is when I rented that van and bounced off everywhere.
Yeah.
And so while there, Eric was staying at a hotel that was just like some little rinky-dink hotel outside the track. And kind of tell us about that experience, Eric.
So I went to this hotel around 40 minutes out of Fuji Speedway. And basically, the reason I went there by myself. My wife actually stayed in the Shibuya area while I was going down there. So I took the train. I didn't have my car back then, so I took the train over there. And then I just looked at that hotel. So, okay, I booked it, didn't think anything of it, just got there. And then out of nowhere, I just see not just Skylines, I just see every single JDM car you could ever think of in that hotel parking lot. And I'm like, that's pretty cool. I just go there, see it, get in there, check in. In the morning, I go into the elevator, and just as we were going down, I was on the third floor, I was getting down. I just look around me in the elevator, and I see these very recognizable, at least to me, Japanese dudes with top secret hoods and, hoodies and stuff like that. And I'm like, wait a second. No way. Dude, as I was leaving, I just saw him in the flesh. Literally, he was right next to me on the backside. The one and only also Smokey Nagata. I got to talk with him.
I knew that was where you were going. From the second Josh is like, you got to tell him who you met. I'm like, I bet it's Smokey Nagata.
So yeah. Good old Smokey Nagata with his top secret R35. It was parked right there, and the whole gang. So he brought the whole cavalry. There were like 8 of them, and plus their own truck, like a high ace that they had. Talked a little bit, around 15 minutes. Obviously, we all had to go to the same place. So yeah, I didn't want to be rude and keep talking to him. He was like, "Oh yeah, I'll see," and it was great. It was just an insane experience. Out of nowhere, I just stayed at the same hotel he stayed for out of randomness. It's like, okay, this is it, and there he was. Very cool.
On that trip too, we also got to see him drive some pretty cool cars, and then there's kind of a full story moment here too. So when I met my business partner in Tokyo, we got to drive this.
Yes.
Is a Apex demo car. So the Apex with apostrophe I, right? This is their demo car. It was a beautiful R33.
Amazing.
And after that trip, Eric actually ended up selling that car to a gentleman in Puerto Rico. So we got to keep it in the family. So on that trip, we had that. I had my buddy Kendon's. We'll do a probably podcast with him at some point. It's 34. And then we had another guy had a Kansai Service 32. We went to Daikaku in those cars. So admittedly, so Eric and I are kind of spoiled. And so I do want to ask some rapid fire questions for you, Eric.
Yeah.
What, and I think we know the answer to this, is your favorite JDM car?
Favorite JDM cars, R32 GTR. No doubt about it.
Favorite thing to do in Tokyo?
In Tokyo, eat and go to meets.
Good answer.
What's your favorite thing to eat?
Oh, katsudon all the time. Katsudon, if you guys don't know what that is, that's basically chicken or pork on top of rice.
What about yakitori?
Oh, yakitori is, oh my God, you got me there, man.
We always go to the yakitori. It's meat on the stick, little bar joints. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yakitori is also, I think yakitori is better.
What's the favorite car that you've imported? What's the car you're like, oh my God, I can't believe I just sold that car?
Wow, that's a tough one. You want me to...
There was a time when Eric would go and I back and forth. I would sell a Midnight Purple 2 V-Spec. He would sell a Midnight 2 V-Spec. I sold LM Spec 33. He sold the LM Spec 33. And like we were going back and forth for a while there, but we both sold some heavy hitters. I know you have RMC Miami. You brought in some crazy shit. So like,
I was gonna say, if we go by crazy shit, if we go solely based on that,
what's the car that you've sold that's the favorite, and then what's the craziest one you've been a part of? We'll do 2 parts on that.
Okay, the one that I think was one of my favorite cars that I've sold is a CRS, Nismo CRS. That insane one. That is probably the most intense. I mean, because it's a CRS. So a Nismo CRS, if it's very quickly, you have to be on a waiting list from Nismo. 3 to 4 years is now the waiting time. It roughly costs about $400,000 to $500,000 now for the build. Plus, you got to obviously add the car, and they strip it down, completely rebuild it from the ground up. Everything is brand new. Even the bolts are Nismo. It's insane. Everything is done, and then you get to choose your engine. That's in a nutshell what happens. That's why it costs that much. It gets shaken up at Fuji Speedway, actually. They take it to Fuji Speedway once it's all done up and just drive it around, make sure it all works properly and to Nismo standards. And then as soon as it's done, they tell you, here you go, you can get it. It's just an insane experience just to be able to do that. And for a factory, like a OEM factory to do that, it doesn't, I mean, it blows my mind still.
Here's the other crazy part of that story is the one that I've done that's my favorite is also to the same buyer, and it was that Midnight Purple Omori spec build car, which is very caliber. So like the same person has both of those cars.
Yeah, the same person has both of them, which is
and
funny.
A Millennium Jade M Spec Ner.
Oh, and that's my dream car right there.
And a spec Millennium J35. So they have a pretty good collection.
A lot of people don't know this, but we've done a lot of show and display stuff as well. Josh and
we've done like 4 or 5 together.
Yeah, exactly. So we've done quite a lot of them. We've done quite a few Midnight Purple 2s. We were the first ones to do 2 Midnight Purple 2s in Puerto Rico. Way back when, way before they were legal to be brought over through the 25-year-old rule. And we've also done quite a few here in the U.S. and we've done also an M Spec Nur, a show and display M Spec Nur that went to Texas. So we've done a few of these, and we've also done race cars as well. If you want to
wide body Porsches, we did that
wide body RWB.
Remember that white wide body Porsche we started out with?
The Sunburst one, man. We've done a Sunburst Porsche, a white Sunburst Porsche. That if you would have seen it, one-off rims. Ordered directly from work. There were insane offsets because obviously it's white body, so you're not going to have that laying around somewhere. Just an all-around intense build. It's as good as an RWB, or if not even better because it's not. It's all one piece. So, it looks a little bit cleaner, I guess.
Yeah.
Obviously, we see all the fancy stuff all the time, and
Yes.
and it is going to sound kind of pretentious to say this, but when you're around all the fancy stuff all the time, you kind of get jaded to it. And what happens over time is it's always the little weird things that like make you excited.
Yes. I am very much like that.
Which one of those is your favorite?
Weird little things. I have a passion for some reason for anything, K trucks, K cars, K hatches. Oh man, people are gonna go like, what? But I do like Suzuki's K hatches very much, and Mitsubishi as well. And Josh can relate to the Mitsubishi one because he actually owned one of those that I'm going to talk about. There's a little hatch, a Mitsubishi hatch called a Mitsubishi Dangan ZZ, which is Dangan is bullet in Japanese, so it actually fits the name pretty well. You can have it in four-wheel drive or front-wheel drive configuration, but that thing is a beast for what it is. It doesn't even make sense. Like, it's 0.6 liter on every single K car, but it just accelerates like a normal car. It like, even like a GTR. The acceleration is GTR quality. I don't get it.
They're fast too. They're really quick. So when I first teamed up with Eric, we went out to Florida and he had a buddy. Eric just got a couple cars in. He had a buddy at a bunch of Supras. I flew out there and picked some up. It was right around Eric's birthday. Got him a drum set. It was cool. Coming back, driving that car around, it was like super. They're super fun and peppy. So yeah, I agree with you on that 100%. Now I have two more questions, and these are the important ones. Okay.
All right.
What is the advice you have to people looking to import a car right now?
The advice I would say from years and years, and I've always said this, if you are going to get a vehicle, just make sure that whoever is going to source it for you has the knowledge to help you overcome all of the obstacles that you might not know you're going to face. For example, if you know that you are going to be asking questions like rust, which is very important, or stuff like mechanical issues with the car, if you're going to do this by yourself, you are probably not going to be successful at getting a car that fits your needs or is right for you. I would say this is one of the most important advice that I can give you. You need to get into contact with somebody that really knows the market and knows the people, which is what we have been doing for a while. We specialize in this. So it's something that, to me, is crucial. You gotta get a car from anywhere in the world, not just JDM. You gotta definitely get somebody that can vouch for you and can help you and truly wants to actually get you what you want. Because there's some people that might not do it that way. We obviously care too much to not do it.
It's a trend, right? So we're seeing the people who maybe used to flip Jordans and baseball cards trying to sell cars now. And then there's people like us who have lived and breathed it. And so Speaking about that, living and embracing the Japanese culture, the food, learning Japanese, that huge wall of video games behind you, all the things that you've been able to do. What would you say your imparting words are in life just to people pursuing their passions?
Yeah, so basically, don't sleep on
Eric.
Yeah, don't sleep on your dreams. Don't let it pass by. Don't let it be just something in your head. Do it. Don't be afraid to take a chance on doing what you love. If it is something that you love, you will be guaranteed to succeed if you keep at it and have a positive attitude. I've always thought about this. This is how I operate every single day, even if I'm going through hell. So I can tell you, this is my modus operandi, and it's helped me so much in my life. Everybody that is thinking about doing something like this, that's passionate about it, don't give up. Don't settle for less. Keep at it. You will make it. You will make it if you have a passion for it. There's no buts about it.
Yeah, we had a comment from Onchain Media here. Our marketing partner, relentless optimism, definitely true.
And that's why I love Eric, because when Eric's down, he'll call me and I'll tell him to get his head out of his ass. And likewise, we do the same for each other. We're very both positive people. That's why we roll with Driven Labo. That's why we're rolling with these projects. It's all community based. That's why we all fit in together. That's why I love working with you. Eric also has a really kick-ass father who's also been a very important factor in my life and a mentor and a role for me as well. He was an investment banker in Puerto Rico, so he's seen everything you could think you could see. and his demeanor and positivity is just so out of this world. You can see it carries over into Eric. It's always a pleasure. I really cherish our partnership. And
Me too, man. Me
the same
too.
way with you, Alex. And so, like everyone in the chat, I really appreciate you guys all being here. I hope this story gave you some insight as to working in the background behind this project, right? Because at the end of the day, we're all caught up in this Web3 world and charts and graphs and functionality. And, you know, ETH Denver's coming up and we can get lost in this world. But as enthusiasts and as people who are embracing this culture going forward, I really thank you for coming to share your experience with us, Eric. I hope you'll be back again some other time. And then Alex, I've hijacked it enough. I'll let you close out.
That's right. We do have, in fact, I got a couple more questions, so we're not going to close it just yet. I guess looking from a high level view on the JDM market, I'm curious what you think is currently the best JDM collector car, something that if somebody wanted to buy something purely as an investment, what is going to perform the best?
That's a good question, actually. I can think of a few of them. I can't really give you just one option, but I would say right now, I would think 34s are going to be also always at the top of the food chain when it comes to that, especially the rare N-Spec NUR, V-Spec 2 NURs. N1s are insane. N1s go for a lot. The retail value is insane. So N1 is always going to be a very good one to go for. And of course, the ones like the Z-Tunes and stuff like that, those are, a different level, 400Rs. If we're talking value-wise, I would say something along the lines of a 400R, obviously, or a Z-Tune. But if we're talking about other cars that I know will appreciate, there's a lot of different limited edition models that a lot of people are not thinking of or don't have them in their radar, so to speak. One of the top of my head, because I've been looking at them recently, Subaru made out of each generation an S20 something, right? So let's say the GC8 chassis, which was 1994 or 92 through 2001, they made an S201, and that's where it started, right? So right now, the S202, which is, they only made 400 of each of S20 iteration. That is something that somebody can actually acquire right now, can call Josh and say, hey, I wanted to get this vehicle and I wanted to store it because they're legal next year.
Yeah.
Basically, you can do that and then you will see it appreciate instantly. Like every month, that car will go up in value because it is numbered. It is a limited version of the last version of that chassis. If you look at it that way, you can get a head start by just doing that and just getting it and storing it because we have the capability to do it. So that's one example.
Real quick, how much is one of those going for right now? Generally?
Right now, I would say an S202, depending on condition and mileage, would go from 27 to like 40, which if you think about it, for a limited number car, you're looking at probably a 20 to 25 grand increase in the next year or so.
Yeah.
We look at that because we're into this and we do this 24/7, but a lot of people don't know about these limited collector editions or that you can get right now.
It's crazy how in sync we are, because like you saw my smirk is because that's the car I was thinking also. Like when he said it out loud, what I was thinking.
And that's
I knew it.
That's a perfect segue to next question, which is with the 25-year rule, we only have a couple more years of like the JDM golden era cars left available, to import. What cars do you think are the most anticipated in these, this final wave of JDM golden era cars?
Okay, so off the top of my head, Lancer Evolution 7 is one of them. It's already this year. They're becoming legal.
We have 2 on the way.
Exactly. We have 2 on the way. Exactly. We have 2 on the way. And on my end, we also have 2 on the way. So 4. I would say the FD2 Type R would be a very, very good one to look after. Evo Wagon, they only make 2,500 of them. So obviously it's also a limited version of a car that we never got, and it's only Japanese market. No other market got it. EP3 is also something. I'm naming a lot of Hondas for some reason.
EP3 is a Honda Civic hatchback Type R.
Yeah, the Type R, exactly.
EP3 is.
Yeah, sorry. Yes, EP3 Type R. Integra Type R DC5. It's also legal this year. A lot of people have been asking me about that.
The JZX 110.
Oh, GT 110, those are nice. And there's
Toyota.
two versions of it. It's Mark II and Verosa. So each of those flavors, the Mark II came first, and then the Verosa is legal in like around a year or so. So that's something to look out for if you like the drift chassis, sedans and stuff like that. That's a really good one. To people that are on a higher market, there's something very, very interesting, and there's still some left. The Mugen RR. If you guys don't know what that is, that's literally an FD2 Civic Type R on steroids. It's insane. Made by Mugen all around. That's also something to look out for. And as I said, the S20, S201s, S202s, S203s as they go along. And then when 2007 comes in, the R35 GTR, although we have it here, it's something that a lot of people would want it in JDM configuration, I guess. So that's another thing. Off the top of my head, there's so many of them.
Yeah, it's still quite a few cars left to bring in. So, just because we only have a few years left before I think Japan decided to go a little bit of a different direction with their performance models, still lots of great cars that are going to become available.
And if you go a little bit lower than that, you can add the Daihatsu Kopen and a bunch of these other smaller cars that, like you said, they still made quite a lot of different cars that are with the enthusiasts in mind. So it's going back to where you were saying. There's still a few. Still, I would say there's a lot of cars still left over.
Yeah.
After the 90s.
Yeah, in addition to the golden era cars too, there's still what we call regular traffic. Right, like there's someone who's going to want a Honda Odyssey because it's on the right-hand drive. There's a whole van culture out there. There's these so there's a guy that Eric and I are buddies with up in Washington, and he's the king of bringing in the weird shit. Like there's a Nissan called a Nissan Racine. It's just like an old looking 4x4.
Exactly, the Racine, yes,
looking thing. No one knows. So those cars are still coming out too.
Yeah, it's just a weird little niche cars that people don't know about that we have known for a while, and then we just bring it up. All we have to do is create awareness. Like, hey, did you know that this existed? And this is actually, maybe turbo, all-wheel drive, and people go like, no way, that's not good. Yes, it is. Stuff like that.
Kind of like what's going on with K-Trucks right now. It's like, nobody cared about K-Trucks until the last couple of years. Now they're like I see them all over the place.
Yeah. It's become a phenomenon, and a lot of people are just getting them because they're seeing the convenience in them. If we would have had K cars in the beginning, since it wouldn't been as much of a shock as it is now. But people are just understanding now. My God, this little thing can do so much. Why don't we have this? Like, why don't we have something like this? Yeah. So many of them, man. So many notes.
I didn't realize I would be opening such a can of worms with that question, but I'm not that I did.
We got a comment in the chat that I find hilarious. That says, "I love how the men in this frame have every stage of beard growth."
We do have nice beards.
Yeah, true, man. It's true. Every single stage.
Well, yeah, man, we really dove deep on the whole JDM import side of things. We did have a comment earlier from one of our community members, Phil, who said, when he's ready to buy an R32, he knows where to go. So we got some future customers hanging out with us in the chat, and we didn't get a chance to look too much at the newsletter, but you know what? This was just as good as running through this. So I'll just go ahead and say, if you haven't already, please do subscribe to the Daily Driven Newsletter. You can find that at drivenculture.xyz. Yes. Got the next issue coming out this Friday, number 109. Also give a shout out to one of our members, Featured Rides here. He's one of our latest members to join the community, but he's been extremely active. So big shout out to Fix It Phil, he goes by. And he built this amazing GT500 powered Ford Lightning.
Stateside, baby.
Yeah. So again, hey, you know what? This is Fast and Furious. Like
that's fine.
This was the parts truck in the Fast and Furious movie.
Exactly.
So. That's some attention to detail right there. Shout out,
yeah, very nice.
Good job, buddy.
Yes, sir. Shout out to you.
Please do go check out the issue. Subscribe. We're going to run through our meme contest winners. Then also announce our member of the week, and I guess we'll go ahead and close it out there. But I've got them all pulled up, so hopefully y'all are watching right now, but I think I have them in order of the winner. So the first place is going to win a Titanium Founders Club key, and of course all of the Buster token that comes along with it and all the perks and benefits. And that one is going to Stronghold, which I did see him here in the chat earlier. And I thought this was a really great meme, of course, you know, tying into the original Fast and Furious. Also, you know, gives you an idea of how easy it is to get into the world of fractional ownership of collector cars. Yeah, our steel key is just $20, and that'll get you into the pre-sale for not only Paul Walker's Ferrari, but every other car that we add to the platform in the future. So I thought this was the perfect combination that checked all the boxes. Next is actually from Fix It Phil, and he's winning the carbon key. I feel like Phil is now like our biggest collector of keys because he's already bought 2 himself. He won one like a couple of weeks ago, and now he's got himself another. But luckily, he's got a really big community of automotive enthusiast friends that he can use those to onboard them. So
nice.
Yeah,
Phil.
Definitely got the meme vibes here with the Doge Shiba Inu, and of course the very Doge oriented copy. Oh, Eric, you have a Doge of your own, don't you?
Yes. You want me to bring it over now, right?
We'll interview him in the next one. And then the final winner of the meme contest is Iron Mind, gets a steel key. And of course, classic meme. This is one of my all-time favorite memes because it can be used for so many different things. So he says, tell me a 1000x potential gem with base dev we should all hodl. Maybe Pepe, maybe Doge. Guy here in the corner, driven keys, gets tossed out the window, but gets scooped up by Buster in his Ferrari. Family forever. Yeah.
Nice. That's a good one.
Definitely a good one. So yeah, we'll be reaching out to you inside the Discord community to get your wallet address to send you your keys. And then we also want to shout out our member of the week. He's been extremely active and been helpful in promoting everything that we're doing. Guy that I've met personally, awesome dude. And that is going to be Cali Crypto, aka Kenny. Thanks for helping us share everything that we're doing across the interwebs. And you got yourself a member of the week, a steel key, and a little extra Buster for your wallet. So
nice.
Yeah.
And shout out to everyone who put in submissions too. Like, we really appreciate it. The community vibe's really starting to gel here, and I'm really excited to see it. So shout out, Fix It Phil, holding it down, Cali. We're doing it, baby.
Yep. All coming together. So yeah, we've got 266 live viewers on X alone right now. Thank you to everybody who's joined. Don't know how many we've got on Twitch, but thank you as well. And yeah, we'll catch you next week for the next episode of Money Shift Podcast. We also have our space coming up on X on Friday, Builder Burnout. And we have a pre-sale launch party with Rachel and Onchain Media coming up on Tuesday. So if you haven't gotten your keys yet to get you pre-sale access to the fractionalized Ferrari, that now's definitely the time. You want to get in before that goes live on Tuesday. So that's it for all of my updates. Eric, where can people find you?
We can find us on TRU JDM on Facebook, on Instagram, and we also have a site that we're working on and revamping along with Josh, who's helping us revamp our old site. So you can definitely find us there and, you know, shoot us a message, and we can help you in any way we can.
Yeah. All right, and that's TRU, no E.
Yeah, TRU JDM Imports without
like
the E, right here, like this.
Yeah, you guys see the red circle.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, we're the front end. We handle all the title paperwork, and we're the front end institution. And Eric's the man that makes sure that you don't have any problems on the back end. And what's most impressive, if I say, Eric, I need this paperwork from a car imported in 2019, I would, within 1 minute, I would have it. And shout out Rachel. We need to shout out Rachel.
Yeah.
Hold it down for us big time. We love you, and we love to see where this goes. Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah. Big things on the horizon. So that's going to be it for today. Thanks, Eric, for joining us. Josh, as always, great to chat with you. And we'll catch you next week. Actually, no, if you're on X, we'll catch you on Friday. And then, of course, don't remember that big pre-sale launch party on Tuesday with Rachel and Onchain Media. So we'll see you there.
See it.
Awesome, man. See you guys. Take care.